Hello everyone. Today I'm looking at the BSA engine, the Bantam. Just going through a few of the issues that I found whilst stripping down and inspecting it, and we'll talk about what I'm going to do to put it right. But before I do that, I'd just like to mention a few people whose YouTube channels I watch, and they've been kind enough to mention me in their recent videos. So I've got a couple of stickers to show you. And the first one is John's Workshop. It's a machining channel. He's got a lathe, a milling machine, he does a bit of welding, and I have to say I've learned an awful lot from watching John. He's a great teacher, I'll say that, and a real professional. So if you're not familiar with the channel, well worth checking out. And the next one is Haxby Shed. He's up in York, in Yorkshire, which is not far from where I grew up, and a real personable guy. Really interesting channel. Again, lathe. He's got a shaper, and recently he's done some really interesting TIG welding videos. So well worth checking out. So that's that one, and then using my high-tech notepad, Coleman Customs. My friend Will. He's into motorbikes, he's into British bikes. He's got a Triumph 500 that he uses for off-road, and he's building a real throwback 70s custom at the moment, a chop. Kind of an Uncle Bunt style bike. I think it's a Honda 500 or a 350. Really, really cool bike, and well worth a watch. And then we've got Cliff's Shed. Cliff's one of these guys that can make anything out of anything, and he's got the same type of lathe as me, which is a Maximat V10, and very entertaining channel. You'll learn a lot, so well worth checking out. And then AG Engineering, now that's Aid, and he is kind of the guy for British bike engineering and machining. He does BSA oil feed conversions and all kinds of really clever engineering, and well worth a watch. And then lastly, we've got Laundry Room Workshop. That's a guy called Larson, and he's over in the States, and I don't know whereabouts, but somewhere over in America. And he's got two Maximat lathes. He's got a 7 and he's got a 10, like mine. And at the moment, he's doing quite a lot of work renovating the lathes and getting them back up and running. Some really interesting work going on there. So well worth a watch. And if I can just say once again, guys, thanks very much for your support and your encouragement. It's really appreciated, and hopefully you continue to make some really cool and interesting videos. So thank you. Right then, let's move all this out of the way. So the BSA Bantam, as you can see, I've stripped it down, I've given it a good clean up, and I've got a few of the sort of problem children laid out on the bench. And the first one is the crankshaft. Now, it doesn't look bad. All the journals are in good condition, both the journals rather. They're decent threads, decent keyways, and I've had it in the lathe between centres, and it's actually pretty true. But the problem we've got is the big end. On a lot of two strokes, you get this problem, and I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but there's about 5 thou up and down movement. Now, not too much of a major issue, because I found that you can get a rod kit for the Bantam. So I'm going to get one of those, and once I get a press set up in here, we'll have a go at rebuilding the crank. So that should make an interesting set of videos, hopefully. And then moving on, we have the barrel, which, as you can probably imagine, on an old bike, there's a bit of wear in there. I don't know if the camera will pick up me flicking a little bit of a lip at the top there. We've measured it up. It should be 61.5, and it's coming in at about 61.7, 61.8, a little bit of ovality in there. The good news is that there's a couple of pistons available. You can get a 40 thou and a 60 thou oversize. So we're going to go for a 40 thou, which will take it to 62.5, I think. So I just need to find somebody to bore it to the piston. If anybody's got any suggestions or recommendations, I'm in the south of England, not far from Oxford. So if you know somebody that can do the rebore and do a good job for me, please let me know. Moving on, we have got the lathe shaft. Now, the lathe shaft itself is okay. I'll get it in the camera. But the third gear pinion, if I can find it, there we go, look. There's some spalling on the teeth, quite a lot actually. I don't know if it's been run low on oil or maybe even run without oil. Anything could have happened to it, I suppose, in its sort of 50-odd year life. But anyway, that pinion's got to go. We've got to put a new one on. But luckily, I managed to find a new old stock third gear pinion. So there we go. And when the press gets here, that'll make that job way easier. Yeah, lucky to find that, I think. What else have we got? We've got the Kickstarter shaft, quite common. The Kickstarter's obviously been slipping on, get it into focus, been slipping on the splines, and we've got some recessed splines. I don't know if it'll pick it up, but the whole splined area's got a great big valley running right through it. The good news is these are also available. You can get these. There's a number of people that remake them, so we shouldn't have a problem getting one of those. What else have we got? Oh, here we go. Let's see if I can get this one in focus. My camera skills are a bit lacking. You'll probably just be able to see on there. There's some steps worn into the slot. You see that? This is the detent ball cup for the gear change. A common problem on Bantams, apparently, from what I've been reading. Once they get worn like that, you get a sloppy gear change. There we go. That's quite a good view of it. Yeah, sloppy gear change and sort of slipping in and out of gear and that sort of thing. So I've actually made one. It was a little project that I wanted to do to get used to the lathe again, because I've had about a 2-year layup from the lathe. So you can see in there there's a ball there and there's a spring underneath it. I made that out of a piece of stainless that I had lying around, and it was just a nice sort of, make sure that I was turning the hand wheels in the right direction and that kind of thing. Just get back on the lathe and play with the milling attachment. So I'll just give you a little demo of what. It's fairly obvious what it does, but it'd be interesting to see it move. So 3 gears on a D7 Bantam. You get first gear there, and back to neutral, and then second gear and third gear. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with that works. So that was my first sort of little repair that I've done. And then in there is the lathe shaft bush. You see that there. And then on the other casing, there's another one there. And the lathe shaft obviously runs between those two bushes. Now I'm going to leave these because I think they must have been done at some point in the bike's life. And yeah, they seem fine. There's a little bit of headache, a little bit of play, but not excessive. So I don't actually have a reamer. When you replace them, you've got to line ream them, and I could get one obviously, but yeah, I think I'm just going to leave them well alone for now. They're not going to cause any problems. And then over here, I've got a full set of engine bearings. The brand is Koyo, Japanese. And I've used these bearings quite a lot actually, in a lot of Japanese bikes that I've worked on, and they're pretty good quality. So I'm quite pleased with those. Full set of engine bearings for just under 50 quid, which I didn't think was bad. The old bearings, I mean, they range from not terrible to won't move at all, and this engine would kick over as well, so obviously it will move, but there's quite a lot of friction in that. That's about it really at the moment. As I say, if anybody does know where to send my barrel to get it rebored, somewhere that they can recommend that will do a good job, I'd be quite happy to take recommendations. I'll drop the channel's email address in the title, and yeah, that's it really. Thanks very much for watching. Very much appreciated. And I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.